highly distressed today. I'm trying to calm down. I've had a big argument with Raw Mail. I think my postman's going to be here in a minute, but I'll start the recording anyway. So, some of you might recall in previous videos, if you've bothered to listen, that is, I can see that some of you are listening for 5 minutes and then dropping off because you're obviously finding it boring and you're not giving me a chance to hear it out to the very end, because I find that the best bit always comes at the end with me, because I can't help it, I'm a brummie. I go round the Wrekin to make a point. I go off on tangents, I can't help it, it's the way my head is. That's probably why I've got no friends. It's probably why I work for myself. But, you know, I used to experience these kind of frustrations in financial services, and when I was a manager there, and I was always prepared to tackle the actual processes and remove barriers out of the way, barriers that were in front of the customer. I was a bit of a champion for that, because I used to cock an ear and listen to the staff, what the telephone staff were telling me, because the secret to success was listening to the people who were doing the job, the guys at the coalface. They knew what was wrong with the organisation because the customers were telling them. So I'd tune into them, I'd listen to what they had to say, and then if I heard it once or twice too often, I would basically go and fix the problem and get it done. You know what I mean? I'd roll up my sleeves, I'd jump into the shit, and I'd come up holding the bunch of roses. It's the way I was, the way I am. You know, I was a bit abrasive. What do you expect when you're the son of an Irishman in Birmingham? You know, can't help it. But I would get things done. I was a doer, and I hate having to be on the other side of the coin when you're a customer, and you know that all you need is somebody on the other side of the telephone at a supervisory level to grab hold of the problem and go and sort it, get it done now, right? You know. So, as you know, eBay basically have begun to enforce the rules that were established apparently in 2019 by the government, which made it a legal requirement to send bladed products through the post and get age verification at the other end of the line. For sure, Royal Mail have got it in place. It's part of the tracked services. I don't know how long tracked services have been around, but you know, I only just started to hear about it because the eBay made it a requirement, and they had a deadline. I think it was the 13th of March. They gave us about 2, 3, 4 weeks notice or something, but I procrastinated a bit, and the deadline came in. I thought, I've got to do this because I've got a significant investment in scissors. So I focused on it. I thought, well, I've got no other option but to try and comply. So what is it all about? So I went and investigated. And this was running in parallel with the time that I'd applied for the track services. You know, you've heard me talk about it. The track services, they're kind of like a whole quote-based service. You have to get a quote, they set you up, and then you're good to go. And we've been sending out parcels now for the last 2 weeks. Great, enjoying it, lower rate. Well, hey, lovely, winner chicken dinner. And I went and read about the bladed products, and it turns out that the only way that you can send them using eBay's services is UPS, which they've got set up for people on their platform, or the track services. There's no other way of sending them. And I thought, oh, that's great, I've just gone for tracks, I've got it. So I thought, right, let's get your sleeves rolled up, get stuck in, and review the entire category. And I've done it as a free post by including the cost of the track services and the age verification, which is £2.50, I think it is, or £2.40, I can't remember. £2.50, and that's my cost. The scissors are my cost. The fees are the cost, and I've added a little margin on top, and gone in at a price, and that price is quite a high price. It's more than double what I used to sell at. And I thought, these ain't going to sell. I'm going to have to sell them off. Lo and behold, today I get 2 orders. One for a pair of scissors on my own store, which is a pair of pinking shears. I don't know what pinking shears, right? Are these? These are pinking shears. Can you see they've got like a serrated blade? There, can you see? As if somebody's going to die from that. You're stabbed by pinking shears. It's never going to happen, is it? And the other pair of scissors that I sold on eBay was these left-handed craft scissors. I mean, the blade isn't even pointed, look. But they've got to be, because they're bladed products, they've got to be sent through this age verification service. Okay, playing the ball, not a problem. So, not only that, when they sold, it was like, hey, look at this, Dad. Dad! Do you remember Dick Emery? Dad, Dad, I've sold some scissors, Dad. I sold some scissors. I thought, blimey, somebody's paid like £16, £17 for a pair of scissors that I used to sell for about £7. And thought, brilliant. And my dad's like taking the piss. He said, hey, you know, hey, who's going to blooming die from them? I said, no, you don't understand, Dad. It's a requirement. We've got to do it. So I thought, one of the things I remember from researching it is that when you sell them and send them, you've got to kind of send a note to the customer to say, hey, Mr. Customer, there's a delivery going to happen. They're going to try and verify your age. So somebody needs to be there that's 18 or above to accept them on your behalf, even if you are like a 60-year-old person, you know. You're going to have to verify your age. Verify your age. So I was about to type that message up and send it off. And then I went to, but I thought I'll send them off first, then I'll deal with the admin, the customer service part afterwards. And then I'll do my manifest for the day, job done, weekend finished, you know. I went to find the enhancement and it wasn't there. There was no age verification in the system. So I thought, oh, blimey now, what is it? So I thought the only thing I can do is ring up technical services because you can get through quite quickly there. Rang them up, waited about 4 or 5 minutes to get through, spoke to a young lady there, and very nice, great, you know, polite, explained that she wasn't in a position to actually do it. It's a different department, it's the OBA department, but not a problem, I'll transfer you through to them and you can get it sorted. Okay, all right. So she transfers me through, 35-minute wait. She put me into the normal customer service queue, 35-minute wait. It wasn't as if she was just transferring like interdepartmental. It's almost as if it's a different company. It's almost as if like they're in silos and they don't talk to each other. I was pissed. I was pissed. It's Friday afternoon. I've got these 2 sales. They're the first time I've done them. I'm full of anxiety anyway. I've got a chance to actually comply with the legal requirements and it's fallen flat on its face at the first hurdle. And I think, why didn't they set up these codes for me in the first place? Are they there for me to do? So I went and had a look while I was waiting. I'm not having this, I thought. So I rang them back straight away and she picked up the phone again. And I explained to her, I told her how unhappy I was. Well, you know, my voice was, I was animated, if you like, and I'm still trying to calm down. Anyway, there was like a 10-minute rant, you know, how disappointed I was in the service and everything, and you know, you think you know you spend £20,000 or £30,000 a year on postage. You think you're worthy of some kind of service. Turns out I don't have an account manager. They don't value me, so I feel anyway. And that it's going to take 5 days to set it up anyway. So I said, well, if it's going to take 5 days to set up, why were you just transferring me into the call under the expectation or the anticipation or the understanding that it was going to be fixed for me at the other end? It wasn't going to be happening for 5 days. So what kind of customer service is that? I put a right flea in her ear, like a bumblebee, bzz, stung her in the ear, made sure she understood how crap that service was. Anyway, I demanded to speak to a manager. I said, I'm not getting off the phone. I said, I'm highly distressed. I was getting to the point where I felt like crying. It was all. And she wouldn't get me a manager. I said, well, I'm not getting off the phone. Anyway, in the end, she put me on hold and she went off. And I thought, she's sitting there doing her nails. She's sitting on the other end of the phone going, bastard. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting on the other end of the phone going, you bitch. Anyway, after about 5 minutes, she came back on because I think she realised I wasn't going to hang up. I was going to wait. And she said she came back with a solution. And I kind of calmed down. And the solution was that I have to go and set up a personal OBA account, a click and drop account. And I was very anxious about that because you know what it's like. You set up another account, it triggers off more mails. Every time they communicate with me, I get 3 envelopes with the same message in it. You know, when you've had contact with them in the past. So they go on the database and you just know it's just a waste. It's just unethical to actually do that to somebody, to keep sending the same mail through. And I thought, if I register again, I'm going to end up with another letter. And not only that, you know, when I produce the actual, how am I going to pay for this? It's not going to be on account. She said, no, you need to use either a debit card or PayPal or something like that. And I said, is it VAT? Do I get my VAT back? And no. And I said, okay, all right, I understand the solution. She's trying to help me and everything. But I was really worried about being able to log back into my account afterwards. Turns out I had to use another email address. I just kind of know these things kind of go pear-shaped. I've worked in these kind of companies before in the past. The left hand doesn't really know what the right hand is doing, or at least it does, but they know that there's limitations within the scope of the service, and yet they go with it anyway and don't care. They don't want to try and fix the process. Why do they want to anyway? Because nobody really owns the process in there. They're just another number, a body. There's nobody motivated to actually do something right. And if they do, then the unions won't let them. No, keep it broken. We don't want it to fix it. If you fix it, then they'll reduce the number of headcount and we'll have fewer fees coming in. Keep it a mess. That's the cynic in me. Anyway, in the end, I decided not to send it, and I'll deal with it on Monday morning. Maybe if I have to, I'll just go to the post office and purchase Sage verification that way. Or rather, the fact that I've set it all up on eBay to say that I will, maybe I'll just send it without the age verification and just chance it. But I think that's illegal. I'll be breaking the law, so I won't do that either. But I've got a telephone number, and there is an account manager for the activating or the onboarding, they call it, because they consider, although I've been with them for years, they consider the adoption of the track services to be a new customer. So they put you through the new customer route and they onboard you. So as soon as everything was activated, I got a customer service telephone call last week saying, is everything right? They want to take me through the process. I said, no, I've been through the process before, so everything's fine. Maybe I shouldn't have been too eager to get them off the phone and just listened, and maybe in that phone call I could have identified that there was no age verification and she could have actually arranged for it to be put on, and I didn't take up the opportunity. Maybe it's my fault. Okay, I'll put my hands up. Possibly my fault. But anyway, I've written to her now and hopefully they'll get it done. But it's going to take 5 days. So I've got to deal with this some other way. In the meantime, it reminded me of another problem that I had with them in the past. The difficulty we had with this company, I'm right by the main depot in Birmingham. It's a huge depot. And my difficulty was getting bags. The bags, they can't get them. They say, no, order them online, you'll be delivered. It never does, never happens. We'll give you a phone number. So I phoned the phone number and you order them on the phone, they never turn up. Sometimes they did. But you always kind of run out of bags at a time when you're least expecting it. You get on the phone and it just rings out, it rings out, it rings out. It is actually a manager's telephone number in the depot. So what you end up doing is basically going there to actually get bags, only to be told, like, you've got to go around the back, around the actual tradesman's entrance. So, you go around the back and you put on these high-vis jackets and you get signed in and you go and you get your bags and everything, and then somebody comes on, what are you doing here? Hold on a sec. Hello! Hold on! I'm coming. Hello, mate. All right, how are you? Yeah. I've had a bit of a problem today with me track services and everything. These are I've got. I thought this was supposed to be tracked, but it's not. But it's only just one pass on its own. I didn't want to actually use another bag just for that one pass.
Okay.
Is that all right, mate?
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. I need the paper. Yeah. So that's that. And then I do this. And how are you getting on? It's your first day on your own.
Yeah. First time on my own.
Yeah. You're coping though, yeah.
Yeah.
Good man. I'll let you be on your way in a minute. There we go, nearly there. How long have you been with the Royal Mail?
It's about 6 months.
Yeah, it's all good.
I'm fairly new.
I'd love to work for them, I would. I really would.
Yeah.
Good man, thanks very much.
See ya, bye.
Okay. Sorry about that. So I ended up basically having a problem there with them, and I was challenged by a manager there, and my, when I lose my patience, I lose my head, and I swore at him, so he barred me from the site, which meant that I couldn't drop my post off, and had all sorts of problems around it. So I wrote a letter to the CEO. On the back of this letter, they allowed me to go back again, but they ensured that no one from the public, because I'm the public, goes around the back again. Because I basically said, what are you going to do if I trip over and a big articulated lorry drives over my head, crushes it? What are you going to do then? You see, if you ever have an issue when you're dealing with a big organisation, all you've got to do is mention health and safety issue. It's a health and safety issue. The default response is to basically do whatever is required to overcome the problem, because health and safety is paramount, and that's all they understand. It's because it's been drilled into them, into their psyche. All the fellas on there, zero tolerance, no issues, no deaths, no injuries, none of that. It's a union requirement, it's a legal requirement, it's a corporate policy. Just remember that. Throw that at them. Health and safety problem, health and safety issue. Every single person from the guy that collects the mail to the CEO, they will drop what they're doing to deal with that. Remember that. So I wrote a letter to them. This is the letter. This is back in, it was 2018. And it said, Newtown Managing Director. His name was Rico Black. If anybody worked at the Royal Mail, you'll know who this guy was. He didn't last for very long. Dear Rico Black, please accept this complaint of the most serious kind. That's the header. I am a small eBay sole trader who spent around £25,000 with the Royal Mail in 2018. And if the first 3 months of this year are anything to go by, I will probably spend around £40,000 in 2019. I'm local to your Newtown depot in Birmingham and I receive a free collection as part of my contract. However, since I am so close to the depot, I am scheduled for an early collection and am frequently not ready for this, which means I have to drop several bags off myself most days, which I do not have a problem with at all. My local post office refuses to accept the mail because they say they do not receive a commission for it, so this means I have no choice but to drop it off at the depot in Newtown. That's my depot. It's massive. It's the big central depot for Birmingham. Birmingham, second biggest city in the country, is soon to be bigger than London. And I know if you're from Manchester, sod off. You're just third. You're just a series of villages with lots of village idiots supporting Man United up the Villa. Right. I'm kidding. My local post office refuses to accept the mail because they say they do not receive a commission for it, so this means I have no choice but to drop it off at the depot in Newtown. My experience with the Newtown feels like their policy is to put barriers in front of customers, and I feel so close to giving up, not because of eBay, not because of my suppliers, but because of the frustration I have with your organisation. If there were an alternative to the Royal Mail, I would move to them immediately, not because of the products you sell, but because of the poor service and barriers in my way to some things as simple as obtaining bags and dropping off post. It's one of the most stressful experiences I have in a regular day. Your front office will only allow 3 bags to be dropped off, right? Any more than this, and one is directed to the back where security is tighter for obvious reasons. I understand the need for health and safety, but I am a customer, right? Not an employee, and feel that I should not have to go around the back, right? The rules seem to change depending on who is on duty. One gate man will tell you that you have to put on a high vis. The next gate man won't enforce the policy. Another supervisor will tell you to park in a particular place, and then another will tell you that one is parking in a wrong place. With regard to bags, one is supposed to be able to place an order for bags online for direct delivery with mail supplies, but this has never happened. It's never worked. Go check it out for yourself, right? I ended up having to make an informal arrangement with my site postman, who has now moved on, and I used to give him 50 quid a year. Tip, yeah, son, bring me a few bags, right? 50 quid, all right, he's do this. But he moved on, right? So I don't mind giving a Christmas box. Who doesn't? But, you know, you don't want to give a Christmas box out without getting something back. I mean, it's a Trump policy, right? It's a strategy. Leverage, they call it, yeah? Is a few quid. Give me some bags. My free collection fella has sometimes bought bags for me, but I have not. I've been let down on more than one occasion, so I don't rely on him to get bags. Today, I went to the depot, checked in with security, explaining I needed to get bags. He contacted his manager, who said I couldn't get any and referred me to my local depot. And yet Newtown is my local depot. That is my depot, right? With frustration, I proceeded to drive around to the gates where the post is received, dropped off, processed, and managed to get myself a few bags. And when I returned, I was challenged by the duty manager, big manager there, right? Where any explanation offered was never going to be received. So in frustration, I swore at him. I called him. You can imagine what I called him. It wasn't Pox Pottle. It was something else, right? I'm now barred. He barred me. He barred me from the site, right? Because he was a manager for health and safety. He had manager health and safety on his back, right? I am now barred from this site, so I'm wondering how I'm going to continue to spend upwards of £40,000 in postage with you this year. Please offer me an explanation, because if you won't consider me as a customer in both partnership and process, I will have no other option but to give up trading altogether. This is not the first time I have had this problem with Newtown, and it is not something I wish to continue experiencing, because it results in stressful outcomes where I feel I have no option but to shout, scream, swear to get satisfaction and service. I see myself as an extension of your business. I sell postage on your behalf, but your people treat me like an inconvenience and not like a customer. All I want to do is drop my post off at the front office so I can go home and have my tea. Right? Yours, a frustrated customer. That was in 2018. Within a couple of weeks, well, less than that actually, within about a week, they'd barred anybody from going around the back, and they'd turned the front office into a proper collection at 5 o'clock. When you go there at 5 o'clock, they've got rows of cages there to collect all the post, and they've got big stacks of the same cages with bags in so you can take them if you need them. And it works for. And there's a guy there employed to do that at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And you know, when I go there, sometimes I go there. Hold on. Hurry. Yeah. What's up? Yeah. What's up? What? Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah, it's probably, it's got to be something like that. Yeah, so it's all fine. That's all good then. That's all right. You know what it is? It's probably the post office are seeing that all the money's being drawn out by non-post office people, so they've probably put a code in there to stop you from getting their money that they have to pay for. You know what I mean? Something like that. It's this corporate nonsense that's going on at the moment. You know, where they're trying to get rid of cash, so everybody's going to get a reduce. No, they're going to get to a reducing. Hello. What? I'll see you later. Can't hear you. All right, try. Bye. It's, you know, a big challenge for me today is getting money out the wall. You know what I mean? Anyway, so where was I? Forgot what I was talking about now. So basically, so basically they put in. I mean, they've created a job there. There's got a full-time job. It's there to actually make sure that he gets the, you know, processors all the so all those eBayers and Amazon people who turn up to drop all their stuff off at Newtown, the convenient process that's there in place for you is all down to me. You remember that? I keep reminding them. You know, the people that work there. I said the reason that you do this job is all down to me. And they you know, there's one or two guys know me. They know me from you know, from a long time now. The new guys, they think I'm like, who the heck's this? But when they find out how it all came about, that front office part of the process that they've got there now, it works quite well for them. You know, people just come in, drop off. It's all there ready. It's like a mini, whatever they had at the back. You know, it's a mini version of that at the front for end of day drop offs. Like irritants like me, you know. Anyway, it's the weekend. Today wasn't terribly good in terms of sales, but you know, it is what it is. I've got what I've got, and perhaps what they'll do when they set up track services for people in the future, they'll learn from the feedback that I give them, the need to ensure that the wage verification is available for people like me. I'm at the end of the day, I'm a business, and I've got a business to run, and I've got, you know, my costs are going up, my sales are going down, and what's left, the profit, I've got to use that to eat. And you don't need it, do you? Anyway, no me. I'll probably be back on with some more videos. I'm going for a Big Bang Theory. My idea is that I just keep on making new videos and editing or searching my computer for old videos that I've made in the past and just dump them. I'm just going to dump them in the channel. I don't care. Some people will find them entertaining just to watch them and go, look at this idiot. What a knob. And others will go, yeah, no, I concur, Martin. I know exactly where you're at. I get the same kind of problem. And maybe there'll be some kind of senior executive at eBay or Royal Mail or whoever that come along in the future and think this guy knows what he's talking about. You know why? Because my advice is based on my experiences, and my experiences with certain things aren't that good, but yet I know what it is that's required to fix them. So if they want to listen or consult with me, I'm charging £180 an hour, and if you want a 1 hour phone call, 180 plus VAT, because I'm VAT registered. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.